I've recently bought a new helmet, a Shoei Hornet. Expensive but beautiful. And I've decided to go with the chin mount this time instead of mounting the GoPro on the top of the helmet. Mounted on the top of the helmet, the GoPro tends to catch the wind, and after a while it can be a bit of a pain in the neck. So I bought this simple stick-on mount from RideTech. There's a link in the description. Anyway, it's time to go and test the whole thing out. It's been raining overnight, but it's sunny and it's 7:30 in the morning. So, with Norman in front of me and Wendy following behind, it's time to go up to Jerry's for a coffee. It's winter here in Oz, and we've had heaps of rain this winter, and the roads are absolutely atrocious. This one in particular has got bomb craters all over it. It's a bit like riding a gymkhana. The council's been overwhelmed by the volume of road repairs required, so instead of repairing the road, they just put up speed limits. Riding up to Jerry's, we make Norman ride in front with his BMW. His job's to scare away the sleepy kangaroos, and he's doing a good job of it as well. We always see a couple of them loitering on this section of the road. Now, just in case you're wondering, I've got the GoPro set at 1080 resolution and 30 frames per second. I usually film at 60, so I was interested to see whether I could really tell any difference between the 60 and 30. It will probably make a difference if I wanted to slow stuff down, but I don't want to do that on this bit of video. And I've got it set on ultra wide view as well, whereas I usually film at linear. The GoPro's got sort of three settings: linear, wide, and this ultra wide. We never ride very fast these days, but we're taking it even a bit slower today because the road's still wet with damp, greasy little patches on it, and the odd big stick across the road that's got to be avoided. But this newish twisty section of the road is really fun. One thing I have noticed with the GoPro mounted on the chin rather than on the top of my helmet is that I get less of the exhaust noise, which is a bit of a shame. Still, can't have everything. The ride up to Jerry's is about 55 kilometres from home, and it's mostly through the backcountry roads. But there's a couple of occasions where we sort of come out onto the main roads, like now. But pretty soon we start winding through the Yarramalong Valley. It's very pretty through here. The big plus with the chin mount, rather than it being on the top of my helmet, is that I can see when the camera's on or off, and it's a little bit easier to turn on and off as well. But the small disadvantage is that it actually blocks the view of my instrument panel. but I could easily see it just by moving my head slightly. I'm not entirely convinced that using the super wide view option is best. Certainly I get to see a fair bit of the motorbike and side of the road, but because it's such a wide view, Norman looks like he's a long way away even though I'm quite close to him. I'm not going to attempt to do a review of the helmet. There are heaps of reviews of the Shoei Hornet on the internet. One of the things I do like though is the peak. Like here, I can just dip my head just slightly to get the sun out of my eyes. Helmets are a really individual thing. I have a Shoei shaped head, so a Shoei fits me perfectly, whereas other brands, I try them on and they don't fit anywhere. So just because a mate has a helmet that they think are terrific doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me. Anyway, it's time for the quick zip up Bumble Hill. This is how quick it feels when you're riding the road. And this is how quick it is in reality. Well, we've reached Jerry's and we're expecting that there won't be a huge crowd here because most people will have been put off by the rain overnight and the wet roads. But there are a few hardy souls here. And we're expecting the welcoming committee to come over and greet us fairly soon. No, that's not the welcoming committee. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, Jerry's is a cafe and servo that you find at Kulnura on the east coast of New South Wales. And over the years it's built up to be one of those special motorcycle gathering places. Okay, it's time to talk to the welcoming committee.
Hey, how you going, Harley? Yeah? Yeah, good little doggy dog. Get you some goodies. Just wait. Sit. Sit. Don't want to sit. It's too wet for your bottoms.
Yeah, don't blame you.
There you go.
Delmore the Dalmatian and Harley the, I guess he's a fox terrier or a terrier of some sort, are the resident dogs. And they know us by sight and always come over for their treats.
Good doggies. Good doggies. That's all.
Let's have another look at this Shoei helmet. It really is premium and it looks very pretty, but it's expensive, $1,050 in Australia, which I suppose is about £20 or $40 in the US. But still, I love it and it should last a few years. And even with the peak, it's very quiet. The peak is very aerodynamic, so I don't have any problem in the wind with it. Well, the fog's coming down, it looks like the rain's going to come back, so we're heading off home. Still, it was another pleasant little ride and a good test of the chin mount.